More than 80% of searches today are now what they call zero-click searches, essentially a search that did not result in a user going to a website. And that trend is likely to continue with AI. What are users asking? The average Google search term is around 3 to 5 pages, I believe, 3 to 5 words, I believe. In ChatGPT, the average prompt is 24 words. Right? So users are asking much more targeted questions, and you as a brand,
we can see smaller brands are competing head-to-head with really large brands, and sometimes winning because ChatGPT prefer the credible sources over volume and high-quality sources sometimes over backlinks.
Unless your content is explicitly the answer to what people are searching for, you will not be shown. And so it really is about, first of all, understanding your customers really well, understanding their problem very well, and then providing the content that educates them.
If ChatGPT can't name you, you don't exist. Today's guest built the fix. Barak Ben Noon is the co-founder and CTO of Anvil. They've recently landed in Y Combinator. Anvil measures your mention rate, average rank position, and share of voice. Then it shows you how to move up. It tracks ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. Basically, it turns AI answers into an acquisition channels for startups. Barak comes from Google and really knows his way around SEO as he previously ran an SEO consultancy. Anvil launched this year, set a public 100K ARR goal by the demo day. You should check this thing out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Homebase podcast, the AI chopping block. Today, I have Barak and Daniel. Together, they're building Anvil, which is an SEO product for the AI age. Barak, Daniel, I don't know which one of you wants to introduce us the product. Tell us, what does it do? Who is it for? What problem does it solve?
Yeah, absolutely. So search is really shifting from Google to ChatGPT. Brands are flying blind. They don't know how they're doing in this new AI world, and they don't know how to influence it. That's where Anvil really comes in. We help marketing teams understand how they're doing in AI and ultimately help them to be the answer when their customers are looking for them.
Got it. So I just talked to an SEO guy because I'm doing some research on this myself for my company. And he said he's kind of I don't know if the whole AI SEO works. What are some of the numbers you can share that, I don't know, will prove this guy wrong? I don't know are you seeing more growth of companies investing into SEO towards, getting the stuff listed in ChatGPT? I don't know. Teach me. I'm new to this.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think every marketing team will tell you, every CMO is currently afraid, every head of demand gen is currently seeing their Google traffic plummet. Okay. More than 80% of searches today are now what they call zero-click searches. Essentially a search that did not result in a user going to a website. And that trend is likely to continue with AI. ChatGPT today handles over 1 billion queries, and that trend is likely to continue. So as user behavior shifts more and more towards AI, the same channels that used to work in the past will no longer work. And brands are feeling it, and that's why they're relying on Anvil to help them navigate this.
One thing you can see, and it's going to be a proxy for a lot of our answers in the next hour, is how people ask questions on Reddit. The SEO channels on Reddit are exploding with people mentioning that they have drops from Google searches and what they can do. Reddit is a really great proxy for trends. We use it in Anvil quite often for different things, but I will send your SEO guy to Reddit SEO channels and groups and see what's happening there.
Speaking of Reddit, so that's an interesting, as we record these videos, we actually are looking for ways for how to spread the message on Reddit. So I feel like Reddit has become a goldmine for launching companies if you know how to do it right. What role does Reddit play in the SEO game in terms of getting your product listed in ChatGPT? How does that all come together?
Tremendous placement. So we've at this point analyzed millions and millions of queries, and consistently the number one or number two source is either Wikipedia or Reddit, at least for ChatGPT. So really now the conversation and now your brand has to be on Reddit in order to be visible in AI. And not to give away too much on our future roadmap, but very soon you'll be able to manage your Reddit engagement with your community through Anvil as well.
That's amazing.
Something really interesting happens there. We can see smaller brands are competing head-to-head with really large brands and sometimes winning because ChatGPT prefer the credible sources over volume and high-quality sources sometimes over backlinks. So we will identify once in a while a golden goose egg where some post or some Wikipedia page is driving tremendous amount of traffic for a small website that helps them a lot against really big players that have marketing teams and SEO budgets and hundreds of blogs, sometimes thousands. But this really small piece of text is really instrumental in driving their leads.
Yeah, so essentially that's the reason partially why we're having this conversation. I've been talking to a couple of SEO consultants, and one of them is saying that if you choose the AI SEO route, now is the time because some of the bigger competitors are not really doing it. You can get the edge. You don't need to spend a lot of money. A little bit background about me. I own a talent marketplace which competes with TopTel, Upwork, you could say. Well, not so much Upwork. They're kind of like a lower tier talent marketplace. And so when I would talk to my buddies before who run SEO agencies, they would say that don't even try. They spend $100,000 a month or more, in some cases, million. And unless you're going to spend that much, you're not going to win. You're not going to come up on the first page. But for the first time ever, I think right now brands like what you're saying is, they have a bit of a advantage here to get ahead on ChatGPT. And so yeah, would you say, how true is that? Are you seeing that with some of the companies that you're working with? Is that a valid claim, would you say?
I think so. It really is important maybe to note the distinction between SEO and GEO, if you want to call it, AEO, LLM, SEO. There are many names now, where the goal for many years with SEO was to really drive top of funnel traffic. And it is true that generally you would not have been able to compete with the large brands for talent agency as a keyword, right? And so you would search for longer and longer keywords or keywords in related industries to drive people to the blog post that may or may not be entirely related to what you do. And then the hope is to convert them once they're on your website. With GEO, the paradigm has really shifted, and the goal of GEO is really different, where it's no longer driving top of funnel traffic. Users who are using ChatGPT have much higher intentionality behind their searches. So it's really not about identifying kind of keywords, but really key prompts or key queries. What are users asking? To give you an example, the average Google search term is around 3 to 5 words, I believe. In ChatGPT, the average prompt is 24 words, right? So users are asking much more targeted questions. And you as a brand, if you can anticipate what they're asking, create both the relevant content to answer those long questions and engage in the community, in Reddit, in Wikipedia, in blogs, in a meaningful way that you are indeed answering those long questions, you can 100% compete with large brands and actually drive middle of the funnel traffic or even bottom of the funnel traffic. So you're actually getting users who are much more likely to convert and buy your product than you did in the past with Google.
So you're saying basically the question, the content that you want to create is the content that answers a bigger question instead of the keyword stuffing that people used to do. What should be the content strategy a company to get placed into ChatGPT listings, for example, or what? Do you have any idea there?
So we definitely think quality over quantity. The goal is to really answer the user questions, and the better you answer the user questions about your product, about your service, and ultimately about the problem they're experiencing, the better it is and the more likely you are to be cited by ChatGPT and then ultimately be the answer, right? Unlike in SEO world where you could have been fine to be the fifth link because you're kind of tangentially related, in AI and in ChatGPT, unless your content is explicitly the answer to what people are searching for, you will not be shown. And so it really is about, first of all, understanding your customers really well, understanding their problem very well, and then providing the content that educates them, that has high authority, high quality, and ultimately adds value to them in the community.
I have a buddy, he owns an SEO agency. His name is Nick Jordan. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's done some good work for a bunch of startups like ClickUp and a bunch of other high growth companies. And he says technical SEO and backlinks is garbage. It's a waste of time. Would you say that's true in the context of AI SEO, whatever we have happening now?
So Back in 2009, 2010, I ran an SEO agency. And what I did, I hired offshore individuals and some automation, and I created tons of backlinks. And back then, I identified what keywords I want to focus on, did my research, all of that for different people. And then Google came in 2011 and did something called a Panda change. It's a big change to the algorithm that prefer high quality content and social media over pure backlinks. And that was the pivotal moment where content had to be high quality. And I've seen my own content dropping because I just did, honestly, just garbage backlinks that at the time worked perfectly. I drove traffic like crazy over unknown posts in different forums. And then I had to shift again and to reshape the paradigm to content quality. And that's going to happen again now. You see a lot of people jumping on a trend, using LLMs to generate thousands of garbage blog posts that might work, might not, but it's a very short-term vision to just spam the internet with content. At the end, OpenAI and Google will come again and do their sweeping clean for algorithms and basically combat the spammers. Because you can growth hack right now in the next 2 months by, again, posting thousands of unread blog posts. So really, going back, the quality of the content is the number one factor you should always think about. This is why when you hire an agency, the biggest concern is how are they going to be expert in my domain and being able to write content for me that will be meaningful. How do I originate new ideas through those blog posts? You can see Google themselves pretty much mentioned that they are penalizing content generated by AI. What this really means, under the hood, it just means that there is no original ideas. And really, if you distill the meaning of SEO today, unlike before when backlinks were the main driver, is how do you drive new and interesting ideas? And then backlinks jumps into the picture because you want to get backlinks from credible domains. How do you make sure that the links to my websites are coming from domain that has high authority? And it's really what we're trying to create, high authority content, high authority domains, and that will replace backlinks, in our opinion, much more just volume and spam.
Got it. Sounds good. So if you had to say, what are the three main pillars someone who's trying to step up their SEO game in the AI era, what should they focus on if they're building a SaaS product, for example, in a competitive space?
Yeah, 100%. So the same pillars that worked in SEO are really the same pillars that still work in GEO. Maybe the methodology still is different, the analytics is different, the data is different, but fundamentally, you still want to focus on the technical aspects of your website. If your website is invisible or hard to crawl, or the robots are kind of struggling to read your content, then you are invisible. So definitely strengthen the technical foundation of your website. As we mentioned, create great quality content with new information, citations, and content that adds value to your customers. And the third is engage with the community. Be active on Reddit. Engage in an organic, authentic way with Reddit. Get your content and company cited on Wikipedia, and then identify relevant blog posts, and ultimately place your brand in the same domains and citations that ChatGPT and other AI favors.
What about YouTube for SEO? Do you think YouTube for SEO plays an important role? One of my buddies, he used to own a ad agency, but he also did SEO. And so what he realized is that if he creates YouTube videos about a specific keyword, because YouTube is owned by Google, that would pop up as the first result. I don't know, what role does YouTube play in the SEO today, and especially in the AI SEO?
More and more as well. LLMs, or at least I would say the companies behind the LLMs, are now relying more on YouTube. And if you look across ChatGPT and Perplexity as well, you will now see YouTube sometimes being cited as a source for the answer. So modern kind of LLM search engines really, so definitely a multi-channel approach is always advised versus just.
Okay, so my next question then is review sites used to be hot, and then people started buying reviews, and I think reviews aren't getting you that far these days. Is that true? Like the review sites, like, do they hold any weight in terms of SEO these days, or what's their role in the SEO AI SEO space?
Depends. I think it may be not the answer you're looking for, but if the reviews are from a low credible site, then they will not play a role. If the reviews are credible, then they will play a role. We are certainly seeing G2 still being very, very relevant in AI answers, and often the AI engine would reference G2 reviews, make its decisions.
I mean, the trend that I see with these things where everyone starts talking about like, oh, you got to get on Reddit, you got to do this. And now I see all these Reddit tools popping up that allow you to use AI comments and stuff like that. Two questions. Will Reddit go to shit at some point? And then will it just kind of like, I don't know, not be Google's favorite anymore? What do you think is the future of Reddit?
I think that's probably for the leadership of Reddit to figure out. I will say the mods of Reddit are very vigilant and generally do a very good job at filtering out bad comments. Reddit is a very hard channel to crack, notoriously. They value authenticity, they value authentic engagement with the community, and doing kind of Reddit astroturfing, certainly at scale, is still very challenging. So much like maybe the AI content that is created for the blog post, right? If it's bad content or kind of AI slop on the blog site, it won't be ranked very highly. And I would say the same is probably on Reddit as well. If the comments that you leave, AI or otherwise, right, don't add value, do not engage with the community in a material way, then ultimately you won't get ranked and you won't get the benefit from Reddit. And so for us at Anvil, we're really thinking, what does it take to engage with the community, certainly in a scalable way, but also in an authentic way that adheres to your brand voice, adheres to how you want your company to be perceived on Reddit. And we believe essentially quality will win over quantity. It's really for us to allow our users to target their outreach and to target the most relevant posts, communities, and topics.
I just ran really quick data from my database, product database, to see what the ratio between Yelp and Reddit mentions. The ratio between rough number between Yelp over Reddit is 0.002. So Reddit, Yelp is almost not existing in citations compared to Reddit.
Okay, so how you ran an SEO agency? I feel like there's so many SEO tools popping up. In today's world, would you start an SEO agency? And then if you would, like, what would it look like? Just curious.
Well, we are kind of starting an geo agency. We do help with brands. We help brands with technical work as well. We as I said, we prefer quality over quantity, and our process is catered to generate content that is extremely relevant for the topics that people search, and also brings the brand voice and the ideation from the brand. So first of all, we did start an agency. Number two, I'll say that going back to what Daniel mentioned about zero-click, tools today fails on some level because they don't capture zero-click. But zero-click doesn't mean that you didn't get the revenue at the end of the funnel. You just can't capture it. It's much harder to track from user click all the way to the payment. But there's definitely a strong correlation between your brand presence on ChatGPT and LLMs to the bottom line revenue. Because if someone saw the answer, didn't click on it, but saw an answer that's relevant to your brand and they went to and bought something, it still happens. You can track it. That's why we bring Anvil into the picture and help you understand your brand overall without necessarily dive into the exact user behavior, because we can't predict it unless ChatGPT published those numbers, and we pretty much asked them if they're going to do it. They said no, unless they actually bring up data from their own database. You can't predict that, and that's why Anvil comes and help you understand your numbers, your metrics, and how you mention across different topics and different prompts.
Would someone be able to see like what's the conversion rate through your product, or no? Like that's just not possible yet. For example, like how many people looked at this article and then converted and became customers? Is that possible or not possible? Just curious.
In an indirect way, where we can show you how often that site. Let's say if you're kind of think of the user journey, you go from AI, maybe not directly to your website, but to a third-party website, a blog, and then from that blog, you go to your website. You can, in a roundabout way, see how often that blog has been cited by AI. You can track how much traffic you receive from that blog. And in a sense, in a roundabout way, kind of get a sense of how relevant it is and when the traffic actually came from AI or not. On your agency question, just to give a kind of slightly different perspective, would I start an agency? I don't know. What I will say, definitely we'll see more and more tools that lead towards agentic execution. Essentially, the work that an agency used to do will definitely be more and more done by software now. But from our perspective, we don't think an agency will go away. An agency, certainly part of the value has been to do the work, but a lot of the value has been to advise clients, give clients peace of mind, and ultimately for the client to offload it to someone and know that that task and that growth channel has been taken care of. And I think that will definitely continue even in the agentic age. What we will see is probably a kind of shift in the agency model and economics, where the agencies themselves will use a lot more AI, a lot more software that help them do the job, right? So it will be a much less of a human-intensive business, and a lot more of the agency resources will focus on advising the client, reassuring the client, and almost acting as kind of a customer success rather than literally doing the work at every step. They'll shepherd the work, they'll manage the agents, and then report to the client ultimately how they did.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it sounds like. Because I just signed up for a product that like you take the JavaScript snippet and then you plug it into your website, and then it auto updates all the pages with the technical SEO. With I think it even updates your content on your behalf so that it can rank and optimize the speed, you name it. I mean, we haven't implemented it yet, but it sounds like a lot of people used to have to do that manually before, and now you just, I don't know, you put that in your website and you're kind of set. I don't know. Do those things work? Like, that's my question to you. Do those things work as good as human agencies, would you say?
Probably a case-by-case basis, and it depends on the tool and depends on the agency.
What are some of the tools that you think you kind of have to have as like a SaaS or business owner besides Anvil to do well in in SEO today? Like, what are the top 3 tools that you gotta have to, I don't know, hopefully rank your website, or I don't know, create content, like whatever you think? What would be a good stack for you to win in SEO in today's world?
That's a good question. Definitely Anvil. I think the new tools are not too dissimilar to the old tools, right? So you still want proper analytics on your website. You still want to know where the traffic is. You still need visibility on the traditional traffic side and on the AI traffic side. And certainly that has been a big focus on ours. So number one, visibility, so you can understand what's happening, so you can probably experiment. 2, I will say, invest in a robust just site infrastructure. Time spent to optimize your website, time spent to ensure that you have a robust and flexible content management system will do you a world of good, will allow you to write content faster, will allow you to publish content faster. And so analytics, better site infrastructure. And then in terms of the content writing itself, that's probably a dealer's choice. Whatever tool you like that you feel captures your brand voice and write the kinds of articles that you want to publish, and more importantly, probably writes the kind of articles you want to read. That's the tool that I would use, and could be Anvil. We have content writing as well.
You have content writing?
Could be another tool as well. Yeah.
Wait, so you guys you have that feature? I didn't know you had that feature.
We do. We allow our customers to write content as well on our platform, but we really see our content writing suite as really setting the foundation for our customers' content. It definitely is about creating what should the content be, where are the opportunities in terms of identifying keywords, key topics, right?
Okay.
What should you write about? We then structure the outline, we write the initial draft, and then we definitely expect our clients to review it and kind of add their own flair and data as well to it.
Wait, so with your product, who's your customer? Is it agencies or is it just like SaaS product developers or just like, I don't know, who's your audience or ICP?
A bit of both. So far, we've had a lot of success with the end customer working directly with brands who care about their visibility, and we've been very successful at that. More and more, though, agencies are approaching us asking for the same tools we gave kind of their end customers. And we're definitely are exploring a partnership channel with agencies a lot more.
Got it. Yeah, because I was going to say, I think I'm ready to sign up. Where's the list? Send me the link. These are the things that we're kind of working on now and trying to figure out like what our content should be, like how do we end up in the ChatGPT, all that good stuff. And so yeah, I'll be checking it out probably. But okay, so I didn't get a full understanding. It does sound like you kind of operate like an agency to some extent. Like what is like the future of the company? Like what are some of the futures that you guys are dropping? Where do you see your company heading in the next 5 years?
I think it's about Anvil becoming part of the ubiquitous marketing stack. If I'm a marketer and I go to a new company, if they don't have HubSpot, I definitely need to bring HubSpot, right? Because that's part of the operating system of a marketing team. And we see Anvil exactly the same way. If you come to a company and you don't have Anvil, you want to bring Anvil because that's part of how you do SEO and GEO, and that's how part of how you ensure your visibility on the web. And that's where we want to be ultimately as a company, is be part of that ubiquitous marketing stack.
Can we take the Anvil for a spin? Like, can you do a quick demo just to see like how it works? Like, or I don't know, you guys want to skip that question?
Well, I will say we're currently offering a 7-day free trial. So I encourage both you and your listeners to sign up and explore the platform. It's self-serve now and really allows from individuals all the way to scale up kind of companies, startups, to use the platform, get value, and kind of operate and optimize your brand visibility today.
Okay, so like most people go to SEO agencies because the whole thing is just too complicated. Let's be honest here. But you're approaching end users directly. What's the game plan there? Like, why don't you want to work with agencies?
No, we definitely do. So we definitely do want to work with agencies. We are working with agencies today. Maybe to clarify, we just had a lot of success so far on going directly to the customer, but we are also working with agencies and kind of in a roundabout way helping their customers as well. The value we give to our customers is the same value we give to the agencies' customers as well.
Sounds good. And so like, have you guys had some success stories with your customers? Like did they leave their competitors? What does the customer journey look like before they end up with Anvil over like some of the competitors out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So even just yesterday, we were talking to one of our customers. When they started with Anvil a month and a half ago, they were mentioned around 1% of the time in all the AI prompts that we ran on their website. And through Anvil, they basically managed to, one, focus on specific topics that were the most relevant for their brand through our opportunity score. They identified the top cited domains that for their company, ChatGPT really favors. And what they did is they published tailored content. They reached out to the blog authors that were mentioned by AI. They got their brands placed in those articles. Think of it more like that PR kind of emotion, but they had that data available because of Anvil. And just yesterday, they are mentioned 10% of the time now. So they had a 10x increase in mention rate since starting Anvil.
Got it. And so it sounds like, because you mentioned with Anvil, you're going to get the framework for the kind of content you should produce, but it's going to be supplemental, so to say. Is that correct, would you say? And if so, like which other tools go well with Anvil? Like what else should you do to leverage Anvil to its max potential?
On the content writing side, you mean?
Yeah, I'm just like trying to create, like I'm trying to understand as a business owner, if I sign up for Anvil, what other tools should I sign up for to create like a winning strategy in this AI era, AI SEO space?
So we've been quite big fans of AirOps for a long while. And a lot of customers use Anvil. Think of it kind of like as the reasoning model before AirOps, where through Anvil, they'll identify what keywords to focus on, what content they should write, and then feed that data to AirOps, and then create through AirOps essentially a scalable content writing pipeline. So definitely big fans of what they're doing over there, and would recommend them alongside Anvil as kind of two sets of complementary tools to identify the winning content in ChatGPT and then publish it as well.
Got it. Sounds good. Yeah. So in terms of like part of the show, we talk about this whole thing that companies can do so much more with, especially like so much less people. Like, what's your growth plan? Like, how far do you think you can take this company, which just by yourself?
That's a good question. Much farther. I mean, we've been pretty efficient with capital so far. We use certainly a lot of AI in what we do today, but then I think Barak can mention as well our approach to our code, our infrastructure, how we think about hiring engineering talent as well. We both balance efficiency, but really a lot of what we're doing is to move very quickly, capture the market, just probably with maybe a little bit less people than would have otherwise been possible before.
I mean, does it like, at least like when I talk to other technical founders, I mean, I don't know what's your experience been, but they say they can now, if they hire good engineers, they can push anywhere between 30 to 60% more code, you know, just leveraging AI. Like, are you seeing the same kind of trend or same kind of results, or like, what do you see out there?
Yeah, I think maybe even 100% more efficiency. It's just the reason that it's not even 200% or 300% is that you still have to go and fix AI mistakes. But once you are really balancing the quality of the output versus just pushing any code it gives you, I think can definitely double your productivity. And we see that. We release features on a daily basis that 3 years ago will take me a week and a half, 2 weeks. I don't have to bring domain experts on everything now because I have ChatGPT. Me with my ability to understand topics that I haven't seen before, bugging a bad SQL query
makes sense.
Is much easier.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, so I guess like on that note, if you were to hire someone now, who are you looking to hire next? Like what role would they play? Are they engineers? Are they product engineers? Are they someone that does it all? Like what would be your preference? Like, because like I said, like hiring has changed, right? At least for on my side, I feel like you can hire a marketing manager and he can do SEO with the help of AI. He can do ads with the help of AI. So you don't need the PPC specialist per se to kind of get you from point A to point B as a startup founder. What do you see out there? Like what would be your next hire? How many people do you guys have now and what would be your next hire like?
So both Daniel and I used to work at a company called CometML, AI infrastructure. And we met a super talented engineer from Brazil who helped make Comet what it is today. And he joined us recently. So he was employee number one. And now we're really looking for an engineer who is able to touch, like I said, everything, has the ability to understand a new topic quickly without having to be an expert. Like I said, because we have ChatGPT and LLMs, we can be expert within a week in something. We're looking for a person, and he or she will join us and really build everything end-to-end, front-end, back-end, SQL, Mongo. They need to do everything now. There's no niches anymore. There's no specialties. They have to understand even basic UX and color theories, something that engineers today need to do, especially in startups where you build pretty much your own things end to end. So yeah, we're looking for someone that is just extremely talented. He or she can talk to customers, can build and do everything in the same day.
Product engineer, not a full stack engineer, a full product engineer.
Full product.
Got you. There's a guy in YC, right? Like he made like the headlines recently. He was hired by like 6 YC companies and they found out. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. So the book face post was hilarious, honestly.
Yeah. But like, I feel like, I'll be honest, I run a marketplace. I know kind of like how kind of crazy it gets there. Like I know engineers who had 5 jobs. Like it's almost like a normal thing, especially during the remote era time. A lot of those engineers oftentimes like outperform the engineers that companies have here in the US. So it's like, why not? I know some guy that worked at Tesla and he had 3 other jobs and he was outperforming the Tesla engineers, right? Or like same thing with Reddit. And so I feel like AI is only going to make it.
Elon Musk asking what the name of that Tesla engineer.
That's what I'm saying. Some people kind of like hate on remote stuff. Remote engineers are not as quality, but I mean, I feel like you can find some good quality out there. But long story short, I feel like AI makes everyone so much more productive. But like, I'm curious what's going to happen to like junior people. Do you plan on hiring junior people? Like, what's your thoughts there?
Yeah, we're definitely going to hire junior people because different tasks require different level of seniority, and it's okay to we sometimes have tasks to do that doesn't require a deep architecture skills, and you just need people to write great code. And I've seen interns at Google, had interns who outperform engineers in L5 just because they came and they're very strong coders, and it's a crank CL, so it's the PR for Google, in a rate that no one's seen before. They're a junior, they use AI. They're just great people. So the seniority really is comes down to what does the company need. Do we need people to think hard or write code a lot? And it changed based on the time. Yeah. So yeah, I think junior people are not redundant as people might think they are, because at the end of the day, the AI is not that good. People think it's great, but if you really judge the output of the code, I always think of it as, can I do a Google code review? That everything has to be perfect and well thought out, and we can spend a week on this few lines. Can the AI do the same work? And the answer is no. So to answer your question, junior people are still needed. Understanding the mechanics of your code base is still something that AI don't always do really, really well, and humans are still important in that matter.
With with AI, 4 engineers can now create the tech debt of 40 engineers. So
Right, like that's what I think.
Exactly, yeah.
So I don't know when it's going to be time for these junior engineers to shine. Like my cousin works for me. Like he asked me, like, "Hey, David, like, did I pick the wrong profession?" I'm like, I don't know.
I think it's still about finding like the smartest people, the most driven people, right? People who want to do something ambitious and fast and scalable. And I think those people will still be in high demand. And those are the people we want, AI or otherwise, right? It's about the person and about them being smart and wanting to do great things and move fast.
I gotta ask. So usually this question comes first, or like it's one of the first questions. How did you guys end up here? Like, what led you to launching Anvil? Like, because you worked at Google, like product manager, software engineer. Like, why did you leave the job to start this? Like, what led you here?
I think just going on the startup journey, both Barak and I. Well, first of all, we've known each other for 17 years. We built many things together over the years. And we both knew that ultimately we want to do something that is our own, something that is ambitious, something that will be impactful, more impactful than working for someone else or working for a company, right? So it was about the entrepreneurship journey. It was about the adventure. It was about, doing something that matters. First of all, right? I think that's why you start a company, and that's why you go on this crazy journey that no sane person would otherwise go on, because it is. And that's why we ultimately decided to build something together. Why specifically Anvil? Really, the market pulled it out of us. We talked to many of our colleagues who are running startups themselves, specifically our old boss at Comet. And he mentioned that exactly what we outlined. He's starting to see Google traffic decrease. He started to see ChatGPT traffic increase. And he kind of came to us and was looking for a solution. And then we heard from many, many people they're experiencing the same problem. And for us, that was the kind of aha moment. This is something that leverages both of our expertise and experience. And there's a real need, and that need will only grow over time.
Got it. And so, by the way, like, where are you guys from? Like, are you guys from US, or were you born overseas? Like, what's your background?
Israel, both of us.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you're somewhere from around, like maybe Armenia or something like that. I'm from Georgia. That's why.
My last name is Russian, but
that's what I was gonna say. Like my mom is Russian, so I'm like, I feel like I don't know. This guy's like, I feel like they hang around from somewhere where I was born.
We're definitely from the Middle East. I moved here about 10 years ago. All my friends love saying I got fully Americanized by my wife. But I like to think they still have some of the Middle East spark left.
Nice. Very cool. We're coming up here on time. I have like the last burning question is SEO, like in terms of like Google SEO, like do you think ChatGPT can at some point crush Google SEO, or Google is just too big of a tree to fall? Like is it's not going away? Like what's your thoughts?
So really, a really hot topic today. And I'm saying it with a heavy heart. I still have my Google stocks from my time at Google. ChatGPT, OpenAI is releasing a new browser, very near future. And that should make everyone think really hard about how are they going to drive customer to the website. Because now the browser can tell you, oh, you're an Amazon page, this is not a good product. The browser will tell you this is good, this is not, going to give you reviews. So you get a lot of intervene from the browser and how you drive traffic. So it's not that Google SEO is dead, but you really need to start thinking about how is LLM perceiving your brands, and not just on the ChatGPT UI, because again, this browser, if it's going to pick up, and likely to pick up, it will influence that whatever the underlying LLM thinks about your brand will matter most when people actually visiting pretty much every other website.
Sounds good. And then, yeah, I mean, like, it's like a little bit of a crazy time. Like, what do you think? Like, if someone were to go to an agency, like, and they had a choice and limited budget, like, would you focus on the Google SEO or the ChatGPT SEO?
I think we're a little biased here towards the ChatGPT SEO.
Geo.
All right.
I think it's about maybe tying it all together, right? It's about presenting yourself as the solution to your customers' problems and doing it in a robust way. And if you can do that, if you can be the solution to your customers' problems, everything else will take care of itself. Maybe with a little help with Anvil along the way.
Got it. Sounds good. Well, thank you guys. Like I said, I'll probably need to check out your product here after the call. I have so many AI tools that I'm trying to, like I said, test, implement right now. So yours is definitely in the wheelbells of things we're trying to do. So I'll be taking it for a spin probably here. And then in terms of how do people find you? Like, do they use ChatGPT to find you, or are you on LinkedIn? Like, how did they get in touch with you?
We're everywhere.
First of all, you can go to app.joinanvil.com and sign up. Yeah. But other than this, we are everywhere. Yeah.
Add us on LinkedIn and add us as well. We're always happy to chat everything GEO and hear feedback and hear our users' problems and work together to solve them.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you for sharing all your lessons. I think it was very informational and a lot of good takeaways here. So thank you for showing up here to the show. We'll get this thing out there. And yeah, we'll, like I said, I'll be testing your product, and hopefully some of our listeners and viewers will also check out your product, and hopefully, we'll see you guys grow and
Absolutely.
become a big thing. But thank you guys. It was good to have you.